Have you ever wondered if the things you do every day out of love are actually making your cat feel lonely, stressed, or even emotionally distant? The truth is, cats don't show heartbreak the way humans do. They hide it so well that most owners never realize they're causing it. Before we uncover these surprising mistakes, make sure to subscribe to Mindful Meow, turn on notifications, and join us for more science-backed insights that help you build a happier, healthier relationship with your cat. Most people think cats are independent enough to handle almost anything, but modern research paints a very different picture. Cats form deep emotional attachments, depend on routines that make them feel secure, and quietly suffer when their emotional needs are ignored. They rarely cry for attention. Instead, they simply withdraw. And once they stop trying to connect, many owners mistake that silence for normal cat behavior. One of the biggest mistakes begins with something as simple as a window. To you, it's just glass separating the indoors from the outdoors. To your cat, it's an entire world filled with movement, sounds, birds, insects, changing weather, and endless mental stimulation. Every passing leaf, every flying bird, and every squirrel climbing a tree gives your cat's hunting instincts something to focus on. When windows stay covered all day, or your cat has nowhere comfortable to look outside, life quickly becomes repetitive. Hours pass without anything new happening. Over time, that lack of stimulation can lead to boredom, excessive sleeping, anxiety, or destructive habits that many owners mistake for laziness or bad behavior. A simple window perch can completely change your cat's daily routine. It gives them entertainment, reduces stress, and keeps their natural curiosity alive without ever stepping outside. Another habit that quietly damages trust is interrupting your cat's sleep. Cats spend a huge part of their lives sleeping, but those long naps aren't simply relaxation. Sleep helps restore their body, regulate emotions, and process everything they've experienced during the day. Just like people, cats move through different sleep stages, including deep sleep, where their brain is fully recovering. It can be tempting to pick them up when they look adorable curled into a tiny ball, or gently kiss them while they're dreaming. But constantly waking a sleeping cat teaches them that they can never truly relax. Instead of feeling safe, they begin expecting interruptions whenever they close their eyes. If your cat wakes up startled, confused, or slightly irritated, they aren't overreacting. Their body has suddenly shifted from deep rest into full alert mode. Over time, repeated interruptions can leave cats feeling constantly on guard inside the very place that should feel safest. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is simply let them finish their nap. Playtime is another area where owners accidentally create frustration. When you wave a feather toy around for a few minutes and suddenly put it away because you're busy, your cat's brain never gets the ending it was expecting. Every hunt follows a natural sequence. First comes stalking, then chasing, then the pounce. Finally comes the capture. That final capture matters far more than most people realize. If the hunt ends before your cat catches their prey, the excitement stays trapped inside their nervous system. That leftover energy often appears later as biting ankles, attacking hands, chasing other pets, or zooming through the house for no obvious reason. Instead of ending play suddenly, always allow your cat to catch the toy. Let them bite it, kick it with their back legs, and celebrate their victory. Offering a small treat afterward completes the natural hunting cycle and helps your cat feel satisfied instead of frustrated. Another common mistake appears only a few times each year, but leaves a lasting impression every single time. Think about what happens whenever the pet carrier comes out. Your cat immediately disappears. Within seconds, they're hiding beneath the bed, behind furniture, or somewhere almost impossible to reach. That isn't stubbornness, it's memory. For your cat, the carrier predicts everything they dislike. A stressful car ride, strange smells, loud noises, unfamiliar people. Veterinary examinations. Every unpleasant experience begins with that same box appearing in the room. Eventually, the carrier itself becomes frightening long before the trip even begins. The easiest solution is surprisingly simple. Leave the carrier out all year instead of hiding it in a closet. Place a soft blanket inside. Toss treats into it randomly. Let your cat sleep inside whenever they choose. Once the carrier becomes part of everyday life instead of a warning sign, many cats stop fearing it altogether. One of the sweetest gestures your cat can offer is something many owners unknowingly reject. If your cat starts licking your hand, your arm, or even your hair, your first reaction might be to pull away because their tongue feels rough. But grooming isn't just grooming. Among cats, it's one of the strongest signs of trust and family bonding. Cats only groom individuals they truly accept as part of their inner circle. When your cat licks you, they're sharing comfort, familiarity, and affection in the only language they naturally understand. If you immediately move away every single time, your cat may slowly stop offering that behavior altogether. You don't have to let them groom you forever. Even allowing a few gentle licks before softly redirecting them tells your cat their affection has been accepted. Food can also become an unexpected source of boredom. Many cats eat the exact same meal, from the exact same bowl, every day for years. Routine helps cats feel secure, but eating identical food forever isn't what nature intended. Wild cats naturally consume different prey with different textures, flavors, and nutrients. Offering safe variety through different approved proteins or wet food textures keeps meals interesting while helping prevent food sensitivities and picky eating later in life. Even small changes introduced gradually can make mealtime feel exciting again instead of predictable. And perhaps one of the most overlooked mistakes of all has nothing to do with food, toys, or sleeping. It has everything to do with your voice. Cats hear the world very differently than we do. Their hearing is incredibly sensitive, allowing them to detect sounds far beyond the human range. What seems like a normal conversation or loud television to you can feel overwhelming to your cat. If your home is constantly filled with shouting, loud music, or sudden noises, your cat may quietly avoid the busiest rooms without you ever realizing why. Many owners assume their cat simply likes being alone, when in reality they're escaping an environment that feels too intense. Try speaking to your cat in a calm, gentle voice. Lower the volume of the television when possible, and avoid yelling across the room to get their attention. You'll often notice they become more relaxed and willing to spend time around you. Every cat also needs a place where nobody bothers them. Many owners believe that hiding is unhealthy and immediately reach under the bed or behind the couch to pull their cat out. While that may seem loving, it often has the opposite effect. For cats, hiding isn't rejection. It's security. In nature, survival depends on having somewhere safe to disappear whenever the world feels unpredictable. Even the most confident house cat still carries those instincts. A simple cardboard box, a covered cat bed, or a quiet shelf where nobody reaches for them gives your cat complete control over their own comfort. Ironically, cats with reliable hiding places usually become more social because they know they always have somewhere safe to retreat. Another mistake seems harmless but can be surprisingly uncomfortable. Many people love touching a cat's whiskers because they look cute and fascinating. But whiskers aren't ordinary hairs. They're highly sensitive sensory tools connected to deep nerve endings that help cats judge distances, detect movement, and navigate tight spaces. Constantly bending, rubbing, or pressing against those whiskers creates sensory overload. Even food bowls that are too narrow can make every meal uncomfortable because the whiskers constantly rub against the sides. Using wide, shallow bowls and avoiding unnecessary contact with their whiskers makes a much bigger difference than most owners ever imagine. Social situations can also become stressful when visitors arrive. Almost everyone has watched a guest immediately walk toward the cat with an outstretched hand while making kissing sounds. From a human perspective, it seems friendly. From your cat's perspective, a large, unfamiliar creature is staring directly at them and walking straight into their personal space. Most cats respond exactly as nature taught them. They run. Instead of encouraging guests to chase or approach your cat, ask them to simply sit down and ignore them. Curiosity often wins. Once your cat realizes nobody is forcing interaction, they'll often choose to investigate on their own. A friendship built on choice is always stronger than one built on pressure. Something else many owners never think about happens after they leave for work. The house becomes completely silent. While silence sounds peaceful to us, cats evolved in environments filled with birds, insects, rustling leaves, distant animals, and constant background sounds. A totally silent home can actually feel unnatural. Leaving soft music, calming nature sounds, or quiet conversation playing in the background gives your cat gentle environmental stimulation throughout the day. Many owners notice their cats seem calmer and more relaxed after making this simple change. Cats also rely heavily on familiarity. That old blanket they sleep on, the toy they've ignored for months, even the location of their food bowl all become important landmarks inside their world. When everything suddenly changes, your cat has to rebuild their entire mental map of home. Moving furniture, relocating litter boxes, replacing favorite beds, or constantly changing feeding locations may seem insignificant to us, but to your cat, it can feel like their safe territory has suddenly disappeared. Whenever possible, introduce changes gradually rather than all at once. Perhaps one of the biggest misunderstandings between cats and humans is expecting affection only when it's convenient for us. After a long day, many people finally sit down and decide it's time for cuddles. But earlier that morning, your cat may have rubbed against your legs, gently head-butted your hand, or quietly sat beside you while you were busy checking your phone. Those were invitations. Cats communicate in small moments. When those moments are repeatedly ignored, they slowly stop offering them. Instead of waiting until you feel like interacting, pay attention whenever your cat chooses to approach you. Even a minute or two of gentle attention at that exact moment strengthens your bond far more than forcing affection later. And finally, we come to perhaps the most important sign of all. If your cat suddenly begins hiding much more than usual, stops greeting you, becomes less active, or withdraws from family life, never assume they're simply becoming more independent. Cats instinctively hide weakness. It's one of the strongest survival behaviors they possess. Long before a cat shows obvious signs of illness, they often become quieter, hide more frequently, and interact less with the people they love. Many owners dismiss these subtle changes as normal aging or personality shifts. Sometimes they are, but sometimes they're your cat's only way of asking for help. If your cat's behavior changes noticeably without an obvious reason, don't wait for things to get worse. A veterinary checkup could identify a problem long before it becomes serious. The greatest gift you can give your cat isn't the most expensive toy or the fanciest bed. It's paying attention. Notice the little changes. Respect their boundaries. Learn their language. And remember that love isn't measured by how often you hold your cat. It's measured by how safe they feel when they're with you. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Mindful Meow, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest videos. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Tell us your cat's name and which of these habits surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.